G-O-D. G-O-D. That man upstairs really worked wonders, Slim. I'm telling you. Because that man, Cliff Kingsbury, is back. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody. We're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner.
I love the way she move it, shake it all day. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty long.
You know what time it is. It's time to come out.
I love the way she move it, shake it all day.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about the really exciting news the Washington Commanders just got that broke about an hour ago. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload videos like this to the channel. We're over to 9,000 subscribers, and don't be late tomorrow morning as we're going to be going live for Top of the Morning Show. All right, let's get straight to it. So less than an hour ago, news broke that the Washington Commanders offensive coordinator will be returning to the team. Cliff Kingsbury is back, baby. And you know what I say? I got one more in me, like I'm Vince Carter, man. Because at the end of the day, Cliff let us know what it was. He said here, we ignited his love for the game again. So obviously, he's going to want to become a head coach next season. And I said, you know what, Cliff? That's cool. I'm all for, man, getting a promotion. But let me just get one more year. We was this close to exceeding history. Okay? Exceeding history. And we came up just short. And the thing about it, though, is, right? I low-key am excited for the future of next year because next year's the year we're going all in. Don't get me wrong, okay? I would have loved to win it this year, of course. I would have loved to win it this year. But knowing that Cliff is back next year and he's probably going to be gone after next year, knowing JD5 is going to have another year under his belt, another offseason training, and we got 87 million, third most in the NFL, bro. Next year's the year, bro. It literally is, bro. So, like, if you go out and get T. Higgins, whoever, Garrett Wilson trade, you draft one of these good receivers that's coming out, you get one of these good backs that's coming out. Next year's the year. And just imagine how good 5 is going to be in yet another year with Cliff Kingsbury. You know what I'm saying? They created so much success this year. And he's going to be back. And 5 is going to have another year under him. Like, it's blowing my mind how much better we're going to be next year. Like, honestly speaking, we made it to the NFC Championship in our first year. We made it to the NFC Championship with a roster that really had a bunch of Walmart employees. No, not discrediting what we did, okay? Because a lot of these guys stepped up huge this season. I'm not trying to discredit them. But we can be so much better, man. And the fact that we were just 60 minutes away from making it to the Super Bowl in year 1 tells me everything that I need to know about this coaching staff and this team. Cliff being back is huge for the Washington Commanders. I'm talking about huge because you go out and you assess what we did in the first year, watch the film, get to install some new plays. Like, I can't wait for another training camp with Cliff. We remember this past summer we were getting all the news and all that about how Cliff is animated at practice and stuff like that. Can't wait for another training camp Cliff with the what's my man off Mortal Kombat? What's his name? With that wear the tall hat. I can't think of his name, bro, but y'all know who I'm talking about. That's how Cliff be looking at practice with the sunshades. I can't wait for another summer with Cliff, man. Cliff is just that cool of a dude, and I'm glad he's back. I fully expect for him to get a head coaching job next year. And he was this close this year. Remember, he had a lot of interest. Chicago interested in him. New Orleans was interested in him. But the thing is, I think Cliff waiting until after the division round, obviously, made other teams impatient. They like, hey, we got to move on with our process. Although we really like Cliff, he's not taking interviews to after the division round. So we got to move on. And obviously, he's not leaving Washington for a New Orleans Saints. Like, what the hell do they have to offer? They don't have nothing. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have really no star players to offer over there in New Orleans. So it would literally just be an absolute setup and absolute disservice to himself for even take that job there in New Orleans. So my man's Cliff is back, and I'm excited to break more records. I'm excited to have a much more innovative and exciting offense. Imagine all the new play calls that we're going to get next year with having more weapons. So, in my opinion, we already got phase 1 down of the offseason, retaining Cliff. Now, let's go out and get some weapons. Let's go ahead and see what Cliff likes. Let's go ahead and go to the Reese Senior Bowl. I know that's already underway, right? The Mobile Reese Senior Bowl, the East West Shrine Bowl is coming up. Let's go ahead and go out there, see what we like. Free agents wise, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Let's see if we can make a trade for one of these big time players. And let's get this offense going, man. I think having a running back, adding another running back is going to really help this offense flourish, as we know. And I forgot my man's name, but he made a good point. And we've been saying this. It's not nothing really new, but he just made a good point yesterday at the time that I was reading the chat on live. He's like, man, B-Rob slows down the offense. And I was like, man, you know what? You're right. Like, I love B-Rob. I want him back here. I think he can be really good. I don't think he deserves to not be here because he's a good running back. But he does. Like, imagine us having the up-tempo that we love to run. And instead of that being B-Rob, that's Omarion Hampton, or that's Quishon Judkins, or that's Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. Like, one of these fast backs. So that way, say we get, 5 on first down, and it's 2nd and 5. We go up tempo. Hey, let's get to the line. 5 and 10 get to the line. You can do a handoff up the middle, and Dylan Sampson just shoot up the middle, or Quishon Judkins just shoot up the middle for a gain of, 5 again. Now that's a first down. And it's not B-Rob. B-Rob, he let's say B-Rob is, as we've seen this year, we go up tempo with B-Rob. We had it off on 2nd and 5. Now he's pity-patting. He's standing in the hole, not knowing where to go, and now they blew up the play, and now we only got a gain of 1 or gain of 2. Now it's like, what the hell? Now it's no point of going up tempo again, because now it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, instead of it being a potential, 3rd and short or first down. So we need somebody with some explosion. I really think Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, all these good backs this season really reignited how the importance of a running back. So I do expect teams to take running backs high in this draft. And I'm talking as early as 1st round with Ashton Genty, and even Omarion Hampton is drafted to be potential 1st round pick. And obviously mid to late rounds, I see the Quishon Judkins and all the other guys, man. This running back class is very loaded. So even though I'm only saying like a few names, there are some guys out there that we may not even know, or we may not even think Washington's interested in. They may end up taking it. He could be an absolute dog. You know what I'm saying? And then when you go to the wide receiver position, upgrade it. I'm all for bringing back both De'Ami and OZ, but if you don't want to do that, I'll look at Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Now, look, I'm not saying Nick Westbrook-Ikhine as the big splash guy, right? Obviously, you still got to go out and address the wide receiver 2 position, but OZ and De'Ami Brown is both free agents. So if you don't want to bring back both of them, and you bring out either one, or let's just say you don't bring back neither one of them, you go Terry, a big wide receiver 2 or 1B, and then you go get with Nick Westbrook-Ikhine from Tennessee, and then you got Luke McCaffrey as well. I'm telling you, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine is nice, bro, and he's only 27 years old. And anytime he played Tennessee, he always is one of their only guys that gives us problems. I'm telling you, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine could be sneaky. I'm all for also Chris Godwin as well. I love Chris Godwin, bro. And I understand, y'all, he's always banged up. But, again, got to think about it like this. Got to put into proper perspective. The big splash of free agent wide receivers is T. Higgins. And I think Washington is a true destination for T. Higgins. Don't get me wrong. But you guys understand, everybody else is going to want T. Higgins as well. The Chargers and other teams that need receivers are going to want T. Higgins. So Cincinnati's not out of it as well. They could find a way to re-sign their own guy. So just for that simple fact, don't just have your eyes set only on T. Higgins. Open your mindset to having one of these veteran guys. I think veterans this season that have shown promise under Cliff Kingsbury's offense. This is a very veteran-friendly offense. Zach Ertz flourished this year under this offense, and I think that allowed other veterans to be like, hey, you know what? Or us to be like, hey, you know what? Veterans aren't that bad. So even if you go out and you get a veteran, doesn't mean you can't get another young guy in free agency like a T. Higgins, or draft a guy like what's my man name, Trey Smith or something like that from Ole Miss, 6'3", big body receiver, man. He's tough. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't stop you from doing that. But I'm telling you, I'm interested in Chris Godwin. I'm interested in Stephon Diggs. And again, these are guys that are coming off of injury, but you never know. Again, these aren't just because you do this doesn't mean that this is the only move you make. I'm not saying that. But you can go ahead and have a good mix of veterans. And those are the two guys that I'm looking at. Maybe Brandon Cooks, he had a good year with Dallas. He's an ageless wonder that always, seems to put up nearly 1,000 yards. So, look, man, it's stuff out there. It's stuff out there, and I'm just bracing you that we have such a really good quarterback that every move does not have to be crazy. But we also in a situation in which crazy moves will happen this offseason because we're all in, bro. We're all in. Like, edge rusher, make a trade for Max Crosby. I don't give a F if they say he's not tradable. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and address the offensive line. If you don't feel like Brandon Coleman is a left tackle, go get a left tackle in free agency or in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. Like, this is the year, bro, and it happens so fast. Like, typically, year one is the year that you're really filling things out. You go, let's say, you typically win 8-9 games, and you're just on the outskirts of making the playoffs. Or maybe you do make the playoffs, but you don't really make a run. Then the second year is the year you make your run. You go to the postseason for the first time potentially, and you maybe even win a game or two. And then the third year is the year where you're competing for Super Bowls. That's typically how it is. But for Washington, 1 year, we're already in the NFC Championship, and we were one step away from winning the Super Bowl. That's how I know, or going to the Super Bowl. That's how I know year two is the year. And then this is the last year of Cliff. More likely than not, this is the last year that you're getting Cliff Kingsbury back. So you have to push all your chips to the front. Not only is this the last year that you're having Cliff, this is one of the last few years where you're going to have a lot of cheap talent, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Terry signed a 3-year deal. And this is the final year of that 3-year deal. And even though 5 is going to be here for two more years after next season, you're going to start negotiating a contract with him, but I would say after his 3rd season. So you got to take advantage of having this cheap labor, man, because a lot of these guys are going to be due for contract extensions very shortly. At least a lot of the guys that you want still around. Like, again, I think you re-signed a Terry McLaurin after this season coming up because he did sign a 3-year deal. So his end of his contract is going to be coming up here soon. So this is the year, y'all. This is the year. Because after this season, you're going to have to invest more into some other guys. Like, again, a McLaurin and some other pieces on the roster. But if you go all in this year and you make all your contract, extensions, or you make your free agent acquisitions or you make your trades, you can get it done this year while we still have the 3rd most cap. And then next year, all you got to do is worry about re-signing some of the local guys and some of the homegrown talent. And that may not even cost you a lot because they may be at ages in which they can't necessarily acquire or request a lot of money, or they may take a hometown deal. Like, Terry McLaurin strikes me as a guy, as we know, his first season, he made about, or his first contract, he made $68 million. So next year is his last year of his deal, as I just already mentioned. So he'll be 30 years old. 2025 is his last year of his deal. You got to take advantage of that because in 2026 he's going to be due for a contract extension, and he may be one of the guys that I feel is going to take a hometown cut because he's going to see, hey, look, man, we're either coming off of a Super Bowl win, or again, we already went out and added way more other talent. And me, being here and just wanting to win and already made all the money that I need to make, maybe I take a hometown cut. Because by the time Terry is ready for another contract extension, he'll be 31. So you never know where he's going to be at when he's 31. Look, man, I say that to say we got to push all the chips to the table. We to the front this season. Again, you got to. Defensively, we need to address the defensive line. In my opinion, I think we need to tear it down completely. Like, I would love to bring back Tay Fowl, but Tay Fowl doesn't need to be my starting edge rusher. He's a guy that can come in situational and play a little bit and, decent, because he had 10.5 sacks, so I'm not trying to say he's trash, but I need a game changer. Dorrance Armstrong is already on the contract for next year, so he's going to be back. But these aren't game changers. These are guys that are good. They can be here, but they're not game changers. They're not Trey Hendrickson. They're not Max Crosby. They're not Miles Garrett. They're not TJ Watt. I need like that kind of guy. And whether you get that in free agency, trade, or through the draft, it needs to happen this season. Because, again, the run defense was so trash this year. It was pitiful. I see us potentially trading Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. I've been hearing stuff about it. I've been hearing that being a possibility now. So, again, you can recuperate some draft picks back. You have another year of Marshawn Lattimore under your belt, and you can go out and maybe get DJ Reed or Travarius Ward to pair up with him. Man, I'm telling y'all, bro, we could build a super team this offseason. But we got all offseason to talk about a potential super team. But that's where we're at. We're third most in cap space. And we're a destination due to how good Jaden Daniels was this year. We're a destination in which players want to come play for. And then bringing back Cliff Kingsbury, they seen how excited his offense was and how efficient we was on fourth down and how good we just was in year one, man. And I'm just excited. The sky's the limit for year two. I'm excited Cliff Kingsbury is back. God is the man upstairs, bringing back Cliff for one more year. And this is the year where we push all our chips to the table and win a Lombardi. So that being said, let me just go about the video in the comment section down below. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Want to more than 9,000 subscribers. I would greatly appreciate if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Have a blessed one. Stay safe. Easy out there. Peace.